Symbols are incredibly powerful art elements that save time when you have repetitive elements in your artwork. Understanding how symbols work is key to using them properly. Let's take a closer look. I'm beginning this video with the symbols.ai file already open on my computer. And the first thing you want to do when working with symbols is you want to display your symbols panel. So if you don't see it over here in your panels dock, just go to your window menu and choose Symbols from the list, and that'll show your Symbols panel. Now, I've purposefully created some symbols in my document that have a pink leaf canopy on these trees. And I certainly don't want those, but it's a great way to illustrate how these symbols work. So first of all, how do you add a symbol to your document? Well, you simply click on a symbol and you drag it onto your artwork. Now, you can see that in this particular example, I'm going to drag this down because it's being overlaid. But you can see that when I add a symbol, it has a slightly different look than typical artwork does. And we can scale the symbol if we want to. So I can just drag one of these handles and scale it up. I'm just holding the Shift key to keep it proportionate. And I can scale it down as well. You can rotate them. And you can really do whatever you want with these symbols. Now, the beauty of symbols and what makes symbols so powerful is that all of these items that I have on here, all of these symbols that I drag out here, are what are referred to as symbol instances. And so basically, they are all referencing these symbols in the symbols panel. So what if I wanted to change the appearance of these symbols so that they actually look like the trees that they are? Well, I could do a couple of things. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on this area here. Now, one way I can do this is I can go to one of these symbol instances and I can double click on it. Now, it gives me a little warning telling me you're about to edit the symbol definition. Any edits to the symbol will be applied to all of its instances. Do you want to continue? So if I click OK, it's going to take me into symbol editing mode, essentially isolation mode. And that's indicated right here by this little icon because this is a particular type of symbol that I'm using here. And once I'm in symbol editing mode, I can select this content and alter it any way that I wish. Now, if I exit out of this, you can also edit the symbol by double-clicking on it in the Symbols panel. So if I double-click on this, you can see that now I'm editing the actual symbol. So what happens if I select these leaves and I apply this dark green swatch that makes it look like the palm tree that it is? If I now exit out of this editing mode, you'll notice, if I zoom out, that every instance of that symbol has been updated. So if I go back to the Symbols panel and I double click on the other tree and change its color and then exit symbol editing mode, you can see that all of the symbols have been updated. This is incredibly powerful because I don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. Especially if I would have dragged all of the artwork for these elements manually, I would have to update them manually as well. So utilizing symbols is a huge time saver. Now, I should also point out that if you go into the Symbols panel, you could go to the Panel menu and choose Open Symbol Library, and Illustrator provides a ton of different symbol packs for you to choose from. So as an example, I could go to the Flowers symbol panel, and these are all usable symbol artworks that we can use. So if I click on one of these, it adds it to the symbol panel, and then I could certainly drag this and drop it. I'm going to make sure that I'm on an editable layer here. Go ahead and choose the Island Elements layer. And now I can drag this and drop it onto my artwork and adjust it however I wish. Now, there may be some occasions when you don't want an art element to be part of the symbol anymore. So if you select one of these items, one of these symbols, down here at the very bottom, you can see that I have this little icon that will allow me to break the link to the symbol. So every once in a while, you may want it to go back to standard artwork. And so if I click on that icon, it's going to break it into standard artwork. Now, I'm going to trash this sunflower symbol because I don't really need that. And in addition, you can also replace symbols. So, for example, let's say that I don't want any of these trees anymore. I want them all to be palm trees. Well, what I can actually do is if I drag this over into the symbols panel, you'll notice that it wants to create a new symbol. But if I want to replace a symbol, I simply need to hold down the Alt or Option key on my keyboard. And now I can drop it right on top of that one. And if you watch what happens to these symbols down here, they're going to get swapped out for the palm trees. So yet another way that symbols can be incredibly powerful. I hope you too can see how powerful these symbols are. And by utilizing these symbols in Illustrator, you can efficiently add and modify repetitive artwork, saving you a lot of time and energy.